Okay.
What number is this? What number?
I think number 4 or 5. Talk about Daren's car, the Dubyaa.
Yeah.
Getting some juicy details with the new build. So let's start off with the backstory.
The origins.
The origins.
Yeah.
And I'll let you take it from there.
Alright.
Where'd you get the car?
So we had a customer that brought it into us. He previously rallied it. I think he got it from a family member at one point, and they like handed it down to him. They hit a tree with it. So it's the title was salvaged. They bought the car back. So he was given the car, and just like I said, decided to rally it. So he brought it to us.
Had a lot wrong with it.
A lot of wrong stuff with the car. It was a complete car though. The power steering reservoir was a 1/4-inch steel box somebody had made.
It was sitting on a rock. We got this picture somewhere. We'll put it in the video.
Sitting on a rock.
Literally on a rock on the frame rail.
Yeah. And then
With garden hose.
with the garden hose and the suction hose. And then whoever had put the gauges into the car actually didn't know what they were doing, and it had melted a bunch of stuff. There's actually the fuse box cover still melted in the car.
Oh yeah.
But
Like someone shorted out.
yeah, it was not well.
Oh, and then the oil pressure sending unit was loose.
Yes, oil pressure sensor was loose. Some of the engine harness wiring was like worn through and cut. Some of the ground wires are, but yeah, it's still fine. So Brent went up north for Christmas one year, and I was just here chilling, and I was like, you know, we have the pretzel, which is our other track car, and I was like, why don't I just make something out of this? So I said, screw it, and decided to gut the car, pulled everything out of it. I did a hood exit like really badly.
With the TDO4 still on it. Oh yeah, you bought the car from the guy. I guess we should mention.
Yeah. So I bought the car, $400. Forgot that part.
Because it did cold start knock.
Yes.
Like it sounded bad. There was a little bit of material in the filter. It was
It's
leaking
still-
everywhere.
Still some material in the filter, maybe some. But you just keep changing the filter. It's clear every time. There you go.
So how long has it been since, or when did you get the car though? Like, how long has it been?
Almost 3 years ago.
So we'll say 3 years ago.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah.
So hood exit, TDO4, no tune,
No tune.
no mass airflow sensor.
No map. No nothing. So the car just sat. After I did that, I didn't do anything with it. The car sat in the backyard for a little over a year, at least a winter.
at my house. Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Grass was growing around it.
Yep, grass grew into it. It was essentially, yeah, it was bad. Anyways, so Brent's birthday comes up. He's like, we should make this thing rear-wheel drive. And the car was here. So I was like, screw it, let's do it. And
Took like 2 hours at that.
yeah,
It's like our first time doing it.
yeah. Welded the center diff, welded the rear diff, and then we'll put video of that in here. We drifted the crap out of the car. It was in limp mode the whole time, so we had a 5,500 rev limit. Yeah, so it was just bomb.
Yeah, you could only give it like half throttle.
Yeah. But it was fun. It did the thing.
It sounded cool.
And then I decided to get a little wild with it. And I didn't even tell Brent I was going to do it. I stayed late one night and I threw an S256 on it that I got out of literally the trash.
Fort Warner,
yeah.
bullseye,
Ford Warner Bullseye 56 millimeter cold side wheel.
which is the turbo that's currently on my car.
Yeah. So that was a little more motivation to get a proper tune on it. So I threw the turbo on there, no wastegate. Didn't have a wastegate at all. Just kind of washed the boost gauge and hoped it didn't fly apart.
Still no tune. No
Still
injectors.
no tune.
No fuel pump.
injectors, no fuel pump. Everything was stock. And then Brent was like, well, we should put a wastegate on it. So we put a wastegate on it. And then it actually kind of ripped.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
With stock light blue injectors, it
Yeah.
kind of just figured it out.
yeah. So it semi worked. It was a thing.
And then we had the dyno day. That's what it was.
We had a dyno day / tuning day.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah came down, and then we decided to tune it. It made 336 after I put some ID 1050s in it and a DW 300. and it made 336-ish on that turbo and like 300 torque. It was fun. It was really
that was
good.
rear-wheel drive.
And it was rear-wheel drive. So I ate through we all collectively ate through about 8 sets of rear tires, I'd say.
Oh man, we cooked.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that thing didn't fly apart.
Yeah, so rev limit all the time, lots of burnouts, which we'll add more video of that.
Just second, third gear rips down the road with all seasons, just sideways. Oh, that thing was wild.
What transmission were you using?
Still a 5-speed, still welded center diff, and then
We went through lots of transfer gears.
I was gonna say at that power level, after the first set of transfer gears broke, I couldn't keep a set of transfer gears in the car. No clutch kicks or anything, it would just blow them apart.
Yeah.
So after 4 or 5 sets of transfer gears, I said, you know what, I have one good set left, I'm gonna make it all-wheel drive again. So made it all-wheel drive because the transfer gears, I couldn't keep them in it, so it was like, I couldn't even enjoy the car. I'd drive it for 20 minutes and then I need to push it back with my other car.
Yeah, the one night you did transfer gears in it, and I test drove it. I didn't even make it 2 minutes. I bet the sealant wasn't even dry on the tail housing yet. And I did one rip, and it blew the transfer gears apart, and we had to walk back.
Yep. So made it all-wheel drive again, and the car was stupid. Like it launched. It was rowdy. I was able to turn launch control up. So I was at like 6,000 RPMs and 15 pounds of boost, and I whacked straight Evo. Even though he launched too, but he needed to set his launch up a little bit. But so we decided the 5-speed is going to blow apart. Brent bought me a 6-speed Legacy Spec B trans for my birthday. So I ended up putting that in with the CAE shifter. Then we got really rowdy with launch control. Yeah, before.
We like really turned it up then.
Yeah.
Same
So
clutch.
many phases.
Yeah, same clutch though. It's just you put the 5-speed clutch with the 6-speed because that's just what we had.
Yeah.
A Forester drive shaft, which sits at a weird pinion angle, but it somehow is.
Yeah.
And
We're still the same welded R160 that's been in it since day one. And I don't know how that thing's still alive, but it is. With some axle boot grease in it. And
The rear diff.
yeah.
A WD-40 straw. I just stuffed it in there.
That we stuffed in it. Because we were like, when we were drifting it didn't matter. We were like, we were going to blow this rear diff apart anyways.
Yeah.
Never has. So
Never had it apart since my birthday.
Yep. Still running it. So then here recently.
Well, before you tell the latest version of this thing, I would like to mention that I think we have a stock 205 record. Because we've made posts all over. You've put a post on Naziok. I put a post all over Facebook forums, engine building forums and stuff. So before he explains what he did to this current setup, I want to tell you the power main. And this is a stock unopened EJ205. Like, I don't think this thing's ever had valve covers on, gaskets on it. It's got 220,000 original miles on it. The thing had cold starting off for a while because of the leaking sending unit. Like, it's had nothing done to it other than a used timing belt, Killer Bee pickup tube, and STI oil pan that's kind of garbage.
Yeah.
And this thing made 459 wheel horsepower.
I will say I did pull the engine out at one point, but that was when I was doing 6-speed. The only thing I did was the pan and the pickup tube, and then a cylinder 4 cooling rod.
Yeah.
I also have to mention on this power that you just mentioned. It is, yeah. Cylinder 1 and cylinder 4 are at 90 psi compression, and then cylinder
Segregated.
2 and 3 are at 110 and then 130 psi compression. Oil pressure is unknown. I said.
Didn't even have the dash light.
So I took the dash light, everything out of it, because if I'm going to send it, I'm going to send it. So during I'll run over the current setup now. It's been through a lot of iterations, and I'm just wrapping my mind around how much we've actually done with this car and how much it's motivated us to put Brent's car together.
Mm-hmm.
So since we were putting Brent's car together, I didn't want to build another up pipe. If I build another up pipe for a stock turbo, it just didn't make any sense. So I was like, you know what, screw it. We'll take my turbo off, put everything on your car, your light header, everything. So we put all that on his car, and I started building my new turbo kit from scratch. So what I did is I put a GT spec equal length long tube header on it.
Which is kind of an off-brand, isn't it?
It is an off-brand.
But it's
not
thick
special.
wall. It's got some thick
Yeah, it's
material.
pretty
Yeah,
heavy.
and it's single scroll equal.
So I ended up cutting the flange off of it because it was a 3-bolt flange, welded a 2.5-inch V-band on it, built a full 2.5-inch uptight with a brand new tile 44 wastegate, and then put a Pulsar GT3584R on it, which
V-band,
measures, it's V-band as well, which measures 68, 67. So 68 cold side, 67 hot side.
Gigantic turbo.
It is huge. So a 4-inch inlet, we made the charge pipe on the one side. Running no blow-off valve, ID 1050s, DW 300. The Pulsar, stock 205 with a long runner manifold.
Stock map sensor.
Stock map sensor.
So the boost was, I don't know.
Yeah, the gauge says 25-ish, but I think it was more like 30.
Elijah's map in the email literally said bring a trailer tune.
Yeah.
It was at 25-ish PSI and the AFR was 12.7.
Yeah. So
I was like ducking in the car in the dyno waiting on this thing to scatter.
yeah, so very, very lean. Definitely needed a fuel pump. Didn't have one. Didn't care.
We'll put the video in there.
Yeah, you'll see. So yeah, that's pretty much the list. Elijah's a gangster of a tuner. He tuned it on Carberry and made 459 on a stock 205.
So that was a full send tune. As it sits now, what's it like? 450?
431.
Okay, 431 map. And we've launched it probably 30 times.
Yeah.
At that power level, like full first, second, third, fourth rips.
Yeah.
And we are all about to go to the drag strip.
Yeah, that's the plan.
So
that's kind of the rundown on the car. After the fuel system upgrade, I'm looking for 1300s that are reasonably cheap. And then we might shoot for 500.
On a stock 2-liter.
we're gonna go until it doesn't go.
Yeah. Also, stock head bolts, stock MLS gaskets.
It overheated a
Stock
few
head.
times when we first got the car, right?
Yeah.
Because the reservoir lines were like reversed or something. It would overheat if it sat too long.
Yeah.
It's a Friday motor.
Yeah.
Somebody had a good day in Japan when they were building that thing.
eBay radiators.
Yeah.
It's nothing special, man. It's nothing to shake a stick at, and it's like, I still have stock fuel lines. 200 treadwear tires are useless
Yeah.
with the last
On the
one.
street, yeah.
So,
So what are your plans moving forward?
better suspension setup, more safety,
We're building one for it.
build a motor for it when it flies apart, hopefully before it flies apart. Bigger fuel system. Just keep going with it and see what happens.
See if we can make 650 on Carberry round.
That'd be pretty gangster.
Try to break another record.
Go
Mm-hmm.
for another record. And to anybody that's watching this, if you have anything 205 proven, 459 and up, I'd like to see it.
We'd love to know. Like, it's not like a record we tried. It's
No.
just we're sitting here looking, and nobody on the forums is like we've never seen.
Are you on Facebook?
Even Elijah. I mean, Elijah's been tuning for I don't know 10, 15 years, and he's never seen a 205 make that much power.
Yeah.
Not only make that much power, but also like I've never beat on a car that hard. Like even my S2000 that I track raced every weekend for 2 years straight, like I did not beat it as hard as that.
I've been trying to blow it up for a year, and it just takes more power and more power and more power. So,
If you ever want your car to stay together, put it in Daren's name.
yeah. Also, my Forester that has 330,000 miles that I rigged.
It also had a turbo on it with no tune.
With no tune. And
I hope we have videos and pictures of that. It was out of the hood. There was no hood on the thing forever.
no intercooler. No.
We just put a little E85 in it.
Yeah, about 4 gallons.
It would break up real bad.
Yeah.
You would just like follow the boost with the throttle, and
When it starts to break up, you let out a little bit. And it figures itself out.
So is there ever going to be an end goal for the Dubyaa? Or just keep building it?
Just keep building it, see what happens. It's kind of my guinea pig car. I like to look at it that way because I can try out different uppipe setups. What turbo works on a 2-liter? What turbo works on this car? What turbo works with this? What's the limit? You know what I mean? So being able to see that and play with it, like the hood is chopped up in so many different ways because like the rendition of this car has inspired Landon's car. It's inspired your car. It's this car
now too, because we're doing a Pulsar, the exact same turbo.
turbo.
So now that we know how it responds on a stock worn out old 2-liter. Like it should eat.
Same manifold too. So
Oh yeah, you have the long runner manifold. Yep.
So there's a lot of things I'm figuring out with the car, and it's my learning. It's my study car, and just have
A lot
fun
of
with it.
a lot of the deletes.
Yeah.
So like on my car, it was so nice to delete the interior because he had already pulled his whole dash out.
Yeah.
Like no heater core, no HVAC, anything. Like he gutted the harness, like the whole dash,
Yeah.
and then put all back in. So when we did mine, it was like super cut and dry, super easy because he already figured it out. So
Yeah.
same thing with the engine bay, all the hoses and stuff that we deleted.
I already knew where to put stuff.
Yep.
So.
The freaking where the AC or not AC lines, but the heater core lines go through the firewall.
Yeah.
The little rubber grommet is where our battery cables come through,
Yeah.
and it's just like perfect. It doesn't chafe.
And I set up intake air temp and boost control all in one connector. So
Oh,
now
yeah, like a
you're
Wago
with the
connector.
engine.
Yeah.
It's just, I like to simplify everything. The whole idea for the car is to be simple, fast, fun, and cheap. And I think I've achieved that so far.
we also haven't mentioned that before you did this revision, we had a little fun doing the Daryl Kama.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was with my turbo
Yeah, with
setup.
your setup.
Yeah.
So we'll leave.
I think literally that day is like when we took it apart.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
That night is when I pulled the
Yeah.
turbo off, put it on your car.
Which is a whole nother level of beating on a car.
Yeah.
It's not moving, so there's no airflow through the engine bay. You just pin it off the rev limiter, like fully loaded.
Yeah.
It had snow tires on it, so those are pretty grippy.
They got sticky for sure.
And we did
I
that
went
for
to
like
go-
a full hour.
At the end of the video, you can hear the turbo flutter, but it's because the trans kept me out of second gear, and then it finally let me in, and as soon as I let out, there was not enough wheel speed, and it stalled.
Yeah, it gripped. Those,
Yeah.
well,
Snow
snow tires that were like probably 500 degrees.
They were
They were like glued to the ground.
Yeah. It threw rocks for like 3 days after that. They were so sticky.
Well, there we go. I guess that's the W.
Yeah. So that's a rundown on the W for now. We'll see what it turns into.
We'll see what it runs at the track.
Yeah.
What do you think it'll run? At the current, my prediction is going to be if you're an awesome driver, you're really used to that car. So I think you'll run a low 12.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably mid 12.
I'm shooting for an 1150.
That's what I want too.
Yeah.
I want that 1150.
I'll put
My
it-
car made 458.
I
which is
have-
one less horsepower, which is ironic.
If I don't run an 1150 on that map, I'll put the death map back on, and we'll go.
We're gonna stick a primer in there and crush that stock fuel pressure regulator a little bit.
Oh, and I'm also putting the 450 in before the event,
Yeah.
so we'll see what AFR is.
Radium pass-through pins and stuff, the
Yeah.
hardwire kit.
It's going to be better.
Yeah.
Not awesome, but better.
But I think if you guys have any ideas of what we should probably talk about in our future videos, I guess you can leave a comment in the comment section and let us know.
That's it.
That's it.
Take some power.